Really, if you already picked this, I can just move over. All right. What else do I need?
Okay, I think I'm finally back up and running. I had to do a complete wipe on all my devices this weekend.
Ooh,
Oh no.
sad panda.
It wasn't because of like one catastrophic thing. It was just both my devices had major issues. Well, one, I got a new tablet because my mom wanted my old one. Whole story. So I got a new tablet, so I had to reset that. But while I was resetting that, my main PC got corrupted and had to be reset. So I ended up doing the whole rigmarole on both devices at the same goddamn time.
That sucks.
Just got Adobe and Office up and running. So that's the main thing. I can't think of anything I'm like legit missing at this point.
Is that it?
You got Fantasy Grounds?
Might need that.
No, I do not. Wait, maybe I do. Hold on. No, I do. I had the foresight. I had the foresight. I do need the host address though. Can I get that?
9-8 here. I'll put it in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Two new followers on the Twitch stream today.
Hey.
Not bad considering I don't do fuck all with the Twitch stream. I need to get back to doing stuff.
Well, if you ever need my help.
Yeah, I got to figure out what I want to do once we're done with once the show is on temporary hiatus.
Did we decide what we're doing with that?
We didn't really come to any kind of like firm thing, but I had intended to take at least something of a break just because
Right.
It'll give me a chance to write more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know. I remember when we were talking at breakfast a couple weeks ago, you had mentioned you were going to take a break of some form anyhow. Why are you giving me script errors?
Yeah, I'm
Stop it.
There's too.
Yeah, Fantasy Grounds is being bitchy.
Yeah, I just updated, so it could be part of that.
Ah.
Although the one script error shouldn't matter. If you got just the one line, I don't know what it said, but it shouldn't matter.
It's working fine.
It's above my fucking pay grade. It's opened. I see my character. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So when they've been releasing new updates for the old Fantasy Grounds, which this is, but since this is a really old skin that we're using, the skin sometimes has conflicts, and they still haven't come out with a new one, even though they have been pending, much like the shop pending opening. They have been pending getting done with the new skin for Star Trek for they've been weeks away for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
much like opening the shop, we've been close to opening the shop for almost 2 years now.
At this point, I just use character keepers for most of my games. Just
yeah.
Excel document, and dice. That's all you need.
Yeah, for visualization on stream, I like to have something.
That's certainly fair.
You guys have no momentum going into this session.
Nope.
And I have 10.
I don't like that. I'll give you 5.
So, Jeff, just FYI, we're having the last 2 sessions of the Monday game over the next 2 weeks. So,
okay.
Don't know if you want to join for that, but we are.
I may be able to. My new schedule starts Sunday, and I think I should be able to do Mondays again.
It turns out the Geigers have been feeding a gigantic planet virus. Like the planet itself is infected with a virus that is reproducing within the core of the planet.
Gotcha. Brandon was telling me about what was going on, but he didn't really understand it.
It was a little more confusing than I was hoping, but I don't know. I thought I'd set it up pretty well. I mean, I'd introduced the idea of the hollow world, like that was foreshadowing.
Right. Right. Well, we're getting to the Game of Thrones part of my story, so yes. I'm gonna make you really like one of the main characters, and then I'm gonna totally do everything everybody doesn't want me to do, even though I was foreshadowing it the entire time. Yeah. Uh, I ran one for almost 2 years that was a ton of fun, and actually, um, I was thinking about what to do with us stepping away from the Europa game, and I was thinking about actually doing a Klingon game, and just kind of like filling the void with a Klingon game. Like, I was thinking about having it be like this is what's going on in the sector, the same sector that Europa is in, except this is from the other side of things. Yeah, I liked that idea, but I don't know. I'll have to see how things play out. I got to see if I can come up with enough story. Yeah. I've been working. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I have a digital of it too. Actually, I'm giving away a copy for the live stream when not the live stream, but the podcast when I pick up the podcast again. Yeah, I got a special edition version, the leather cover and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Right. All right. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode, I hope, of Star Trek Europa. I'm your host, as always, Dr. RPG Jeff Harvey. And joining me once again is the crew of the Europa. Brian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Brian. I'm playing Jorad Hage, the captain, and I have nothing to plug.
Okay. John?
John, I'm playing Science Officer Kasriana Shabaraneva, who's also the second officer, and nothing to plug.
Yes. And a prize for anyone who pronounces it properly on the first try. Evelyn, go ahead.
I'm Evelyn Corbin. I'm playing Dr. Desavi Onayat.
And Jack.
And hello, I am Jack. I am playing the first officer, executive officer, Commander Urani Ambrose. And I do various things throughout the week on my own channel over at twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, mainly Dungeons and Dragons, that we're going to be taking a 3-week hiatus and doing something else. We don't know what that is, but if you want to get in on that discussion, you can head over to our Twitch and our Discord under the same name. But otherwise, I do all kinds of fun hangout sessions throughout the week. So if you want to head over to my channel and check out the schedule, you can. I'm on like 5 nights a week. So come hang out.
5 nights a week seems a lot. I wish I could do
So
it.
many.
So many. But we will be picking up some more shows here fairly soon on this channel as well. The Star Trek STA Engage is coming back shortly, so keep anyone who wants to keep an eye out for that. Where we discuss how to run and play the Star Trek RPG. We're also going to be bringing in some of the shows for Adventure Inc. So I don't want to tease too much of those, but 2 new shows for Adventure Inc., which is one of our sponsors for this series. And they will be bringing out I will be bringing out some shows for them, talking about board games and D&D and all that stuff, but that's still probably a couple weeks away. In the meantime, though, check us out on Patreon and all the places that you can find us, YouTube and whatnot. Let's go ahead and get started. And I think we're going to start today with a recap from the Tongo Gang. So, tables is the wrong thing to have out. Characters. So, we know Tong is there. Who else is playing?
You can't spell Tongo without Tom.
That's right. Who else we got playing Tongo today?
O'Connor.
Cass will be in.
I think instead of my normal Yesbeth, it's going to be Malini Silva instead.
I have that character. There we go.
Has Cass been to one of these Tongo sessions
Yeah, I
before?
think this is new for Cass. We had Vega.
We had Vega last time.
Yeah.
Cass was in the first one, I think.
Was
Was
she?
she?
I think so. Yeah. And Tong talked her into it last time.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because there was that whole conversation with Eva and Cass about Tongo. So Eva is
Right.
probably there too.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting.
I mean, Eva is pretty much everywhere.
Right.
True. But like actively participating, not just Eva-ing about.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can use here we
That
go.
might be easier when she actually has an avatar.
Right.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun for her to just be kibitzing this time.
Oh, we've been working on the Avatar thing anyways, hadn't we?
hmm
Could be.
I think Tong
we could be in the
pitched it to
holodeck.
her.
Yeah, Tong pitched it to her, and she was like, "I don't know. That was kind of the core that corrupted my consciousness, or something like that."
Oh, well, that's true. That's true.
So with her, isn't she still stuck in the Arrow Wing?
Presumably,
Yeah.
Presumably.
I would think we would have fixed that by now.
it depends on how long it's been since the last episode. I figured that would take like at least a week to do.
Mm.
Because it was a real slap patch, just like rip out all of the connections sort of job. Like we have to
Yeah.
rewire everything.
At some point, the captain just comes to look at his Arrow Wing and just cries.
Yeah.
He's got to go to counseling now.
Mhm.
We'll assume that Eva is not at this particular this one because we're not sure where she's at as far as that goes, and we'll figure out shortly where we are as far as her being reinstated to the ship. But here we are in the junior officer's quarters because that's what you get. And go ahead and start.
Malini Silva will stand up, hands on the table, and say, acquire, index the margins.
Well, somebody clearly knows what she's doing. Great, perfect.
And she's going to sit down, relieved and confident that what she did was the winning play. We used to play Tango all the time back on Drakkar 4. We had one of those portable sets that used holograms. I'm positive Bryson was cheating, but I was never able to prove it.
Isn't that half the point of this game?
I suppose.
No.
Yeah, I played before on Shore Leave, but yeah, it was a really good Shore Leave. And I got to say, I don't remember all the details all that well.
Sounds like an excellent shore leave.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Did you bring back any fun souvenirs?
Yeah, but the doctor was able to clear that up pretty promptly.
I like the cut of your jib, Andorian.
I don't know what that means, but thank you. So all right, let's get on with the winning. Let's win.
So, Mills, O'Connor, you were at that station, right?
Yes.
I heard there was some craziness that went down.
Yeah. That
Not much,
was
but
terrifying. The station itself was fascinating. I brought back all sorts of new samples, and that was great until I think they called them Guardians came, and one just wiped out an entire section of buildings. And it was
Jesus.
never, ever, ever need to be in combat ever again. I've never felt so helpless in my life.
well, you had good people with you. That counts for a lot.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for the commander and Mills and Chirka, ooh.
No, we've got each other's backs, and they're there to do the things they know best, and you're there to do the things you know best, and it works out most of the time.
See, this is why I'm worried a bit about our own robot. There's so much fiction and so many stories of robots going crazy and turning on their people. I'll be honest, I don't trust this ship's computer.
See,
I mean, the key is fiction there.
the key is humans there. You people have had the strangest attitudes towards technology for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you fly around in starships and you're afraid of genetic engineering, and you're afraid of artificial intelligence, and you're afraid of this, and you're afraid of that. And how did you even get out here?
Well, here's the thing. When I'm flying a shuttle, I'm in control of the shuttle. The shuttle's not calling the shots. Ultimately, it comes down to me and the machine working for a goal. If the machine's the one setting the goals, the machine's the one deciding how to execute it, always goes wrong.
Well, Eva's not technically setting the goals. She's setting the goals within the parameters that her developers have created. And there's always fail safes. If something were to happen with Eva, like the core, she can be shut down and we return to auxiliary power.
It's not like you're having real-time reactions in the shuttle and moving the wings around or anything like it was some sort of ancient airplane. It's all you're dependent on machines for everything.
It's true.
I mean, we're in a can in space.
Call me a neo-Luddite, but I just don't trust it.
I think it's more of a saucer than a can.
Somehow a saucer in space sounds a little less scary.
Yeah. humans.
Seems kind of like a good wrap on the scene.
Sorry, I just got asked a question on on a chat, and it was right in the middle of you guys ending that. So let's go ahead and go to the intro then. It sounds like a good place to end that scene. All right. With that scene out of the way, let's go ahead and head into our next moment of joy. Ambrose, I think that's you.
Okay. So how do we want to do this?
Did you want to start out in training, or did you want to start out putting a training together?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that we would actually start off in Ambrose's quarters, actually, and it's real dark, whether he was taking a nap or waking up for a shift or what have you, but he's wide awake, and he's doing the thing where he's flipping back and forth, and eventually just decides to get up. So either an unsuccessful nap or he's up during an off shift or something like that.
Sure.
He eventually he gets up, paces around for a bit, goes over to the replicator, orders some English breakfast tea, paces around for a little bit, picks up a pad, sort of just does a quick read of that, tosses it down, picks it back up and considers it again, and then goes over to a wall console, and you can see him reviewing sort of like security arrangements and his security seminars. And he decides to call one of his, impromptu report right now. It's a security session. Exercises that surprise security exercises that he does.
Okay, where are you going to call that at?
We'll
just like the gym area.
Let me ask actually. Who? It wouldn't be presented as volunteer basis, but from a storytelling perspective, who wants to have somebody in the scene?
I'd love to have Proba in the scene.
So I'd say if you're calling security drills, you'd have Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I have anybody appropriate, so that's okay.
You could take Mar.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, let's do that.
We could be in the holodeck, and it could be like a hologram simulation of a assault.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm thinking, actually, because we discussed previously during my assault on the med bay about doing a training hologram situation where we are defending the med team or whatnot. So we could incorporate that there, and I think I'd break it down into, instead of actually using holographic enemies, I would break it down into two different teams, a defending team and an assaulting team.
Okay.
So I would call Dr. Marr to be the one, in charge of keeping an eye on and training the field medics, as it would be. And I would be working with Mills. I would put Mills pretty much in charge. I would be in charge of the exercise, but she would be in charge of the defense team.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put Koba in charge of the assault team.
Okay.
And you'll each have an undisclosed number of red shirts with you, or yellow shirts, as it would be. And we'll meet in the holodeck, and a simulated sort of rainforest, like alien rainforest type jungle will emerge around us. There will be a clearing, probably with a holographic patient to start out, so we can simulate some actual wounds.
Just like home.
Yeah.
Koba will say.
Do we want to have another? I mean, I may be asking for too many people in the scene. Who was it that made that point? That was O'Connor. But I can understand if you don't want to play two people in the same scene.
What if we just do 2-player characters on each side? And they can play off of each other.
That's a great idea.
Run that by me again. I lost part of it.
What if we do 2-player characters on each side, and that way they can play off of each other?
So medical would be Mar and somebody
Well,
else?
Koba would be either with the defense or the assault team, and then it would be like Mar and Koba and Mills and Ambrose, or Ambrose and Koba, Mills and Mar. But I just mean pair off, one the attacker, one the defender.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me. So Ambrose is taking orders from Mills as far as this is going. I guess is what you're going for. He's running the encounter, but seeing how Mills is doing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it really makes sense for Mar to be on the assault team, but
Yeah.
we could
Right.
do it that way.
Okay.
I mean, if the point of this drill was to
But-
defend defend a medical situation.
Sure. What about Mills and Mar then, and Koba and Ambrose?
I kind of I'm probably making this more complicated than I need it to be. I was thinking I was leaning towards Ambrose and Koba being on the opposite side. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, I get your drift. Yeah, I mean, then it can be Koba and Mills and Mar and Ambrose.
Sure. We can
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so Al in that situation, Ambrose would be leading the defense team. Mar would be training and keeping the medics together under combat, and then you two would be working with each other to assault.
Koba will be hacking through the jungle. He'll say, "This is just like home. I used to walk through ferns like these on my way to school every day, uphill both ways."
We'll get a lot further with the art of surprise if they can't hear us coming.
I mean, sure, but is it worth it?
And you hear a voice off in the
Yes.
distance saying, "Ensign, it is not worth it when a Vulcan is on the other team."
Okay. Let's be stealth. Let's whisper. Let's just whisper. Fine. All right. So
We c-
do we want to start separately and then converge with the assault?
So are we just doing 2-on-2, or are we still having like a team? Of
I'd
red
say
shirts
you're
with
in
us as
charge of
well.
a team and I'm in charge of a
Okay.
team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got probably 5 or 6 guys in each team at least.
Now Mills and Koba, are you the same rank?
Mm,
Currently,
I
yeah.
don't remember. Okay.
yeah, I think, are we both Lieutenant JG?
Yep.
Why don't you take half the team and figure really should speak up so everybody can actually hear me.
Mhm.
So Mills whispers, why don't you take half the team, fan out that way, I'll fan out this way, and let's surround them. And attack them from a central point.
Sure you want to do that? This is him in character. This is
Yeah.
not me. Yeah.
This is, well, all right. Out of character, the initial scene is like Mara and the med team are working a patient like in a stationary location, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing capture the flag, and Mar and his body are the
the
the body that he's dealing with are
Yeah.
the flag.
I'm just trying to play out. Koba is definitely questioning your decision.
Right.
There.
No. I just want to make sure that I was picturing it right so that
Okay.
I would give the orders Mills would give.
Sure.
Do you have a better suggestion?
Well, frontal assault. We flambast them with just all kinds of phaser fire coming from one direction. We have one person sneaking around back, a lone wolf striking from the shadows, and then taking out the medic.
Say 2 or 3. You never want to leave somebody alone.
You do if they're awesome, but okay, you're the boss.
All right, so we'll run with largely full frontal assault. We'll send, I presume with your awesome comment, you want to be one of the...
Don't I scream commando?
You scream a lot of things.
All right, men, let's do it. And then he'll walk off into the jungle with a couple people ready to strike when you launch your attack.
Okay, the Mills will head in, still staying undercover and scanning out, trying to keep an eye out for potential guerrillas, and head in for a frontal assault.
Okay.
Koba's going to stop for a moment when they're alone. Computer, remove shirt, add bandolier.
Okay. Add a headband and a little red headband and a big long knife and
100%.
all right. Koba, give me a daring insecurity.
Okay.
Sneak around. I don't really know.
Daring and security makes sense to me.
And then Ambrose and Mar. Give me
One success.
I don't know, insight and security.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what to go with. Actually, Mar, give me that one. Ambrose, go ahead and give me a command and either insight or reason, I think, to see if you can understand what you think Mills' maneuver is going to be.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too difficult for you. You're pretty
Yeah.
much a professional.
Mars target is 11.
Yeah. Command and insight.
2 successes.
And
Oh, could Mar use their focus in small group tactics?
Probably not in this instance because you're working on the training portion for the medical side. If you were working on the tactical side, maybe.
Okay.
If it was a medical role, yes. If you were doing like the actual, like you're guiding the team that's actually doing the medicine, then yes. But this was a hear things role.
Ambrose, however, with his focus on team dynamics.
That would apply because you're
Yeah.
leading the command team, yeah. So
Awesome. Okay. Is that all that is? Yeah, I guess that
2
is.
successes.
Yeah.
So it looks like so far everybody's gotten 2 successes.
I've only got one.
Only got one. Okay. All right, Mills. So Ambrose, you pretty much can assume what you want about Mills's plan. You have succeeded, so you're probably assuming some sort of frontal assault, maybe a pincer move of some kind. So I assume you're setting up station in that capacity.
Yeah, so Ambrose is setting up what basic defenses that that they have. I think he would actually move the
Move the.
I'm actually no, we'll go with yeah, we'll actually move the scenario just a little bit over, so we're not in the same place. We are over by a natural ledge.
Okay.
And then set up defenses on one side, and I'm actually going to attach or have somebody in my team attach a medical scanning tricorder to a phaser set on wide beam, so that when it detects humanoids come into a certain range, it just continually shoots out wide beam to force the enemy into a different engagement zone to try to corral them in. And then I'm going to have somebody keeping an eye on the
cover the kill zone.
Yeah, cover the kill zone and all that. Yeah.
Right. So you're doing some denial of area stuff. All right. Mills, you're coming around the platform, going through the jungle there. What do you want to do? I really, you guys are kind of the lead on this one. I don't have a whole lot I can do for you.
Right. So we'll continue until, because I would have no reason to change course until we encounter that phaser.
All right. As you're coming around, give me a. You're coming up on the area where you believe that they are at. So go ahead and give me a daring and security if you're going to open fire.
Okay. So
since we're doing
Oh,
actually, I guess it's actually control and security because you're firing phasers.
Mhm.
So.
okay. Stop that. All right. Control and security, you said?
Yeah.
Or daring. Okay. So it's 10 and 3. Would her... This is for the attack? Yeah, no, never mind. That doesn't matter.
It's to create the distraction of the attack, yes.
Okay. I don't think any of my focuses would do anything there. I do have...
No.
Okay, no, that doesn't do anything either. All right.
2 successes. So you open fire in just as you're beginning to open fire, the guy that Ambrose has keeping eye out. You hear the whistle, and he kind of points that way as the phaser fire comes overhead, and he promptly gets smoked because he doesn't get to roll. There's no point in it. So we got 1 down. Koba is coming around the back, and as you are coming into the back area, Koba, you have any? How cautious is Koba being?
Not very.
Okay.
I mean, enough. He's being cautious enough. He's not being extra cautious. Let me put it that way.
He's not necessarily being cautious enough to expect a biosensing phaser to start firing at him, though.
No, I don't. I mean, I rolled a 1 and he rolled a 2,
Right.
so I would think that would catch me off guard.
Yeah. So as you're coming around the back, you hear this beeping sound, and then a phaser starts firing in an unaimed dispersal, like wide dispersal pattern. It catches one of your two other guys that you've got with you. Just stuns him. He's not too badly injured. Like it would probably be he could probably continue on, were it not a scenario, a test scenario.
I would hope so.
But
Phaser is set to disintegrate.
right. Yeah,
Play for
yeah,
keeps with Ambrose.
that's right.
Set to
computer just-
disintegrate, safety off.
Computer beams him out. You know. Oh, no, this is the first time the holodeck systems fail and everybody dies.
Yep.
All right, but he's hit and tagged by the computer as injured. And that just keeps going. Like that firing pattern just keeps going. It's clearly not moving, but it is area of effect, so it's covering a pretty broad vicinity.
All right, well,
So
with my cover blown, I think Koba's going to get the bright idea that he can intimidate his opponents into submission. So he's going to yell, "Victory is life," and he's going to charge.
okay.
Yeah, so I think that's the perfect moment. The way I'm picturing this, and don't let me dictate it too much if you have other things in mind, but the way I'm picturing it is this wide beam goes off and actually sends the other two of you over to just a little skirted around the way. And because this is Star Trek, even when you're trying to set up an ambush, you follow the path laid out for you and you don't go off the path. So I imagine it sends Koba down a path. And Ambrose has set up one of those like snapping twig traps and a trip line on that path and is up in the tree waiting for somebody to come around.
Okay.
So Koba is going to yell that "Victory is life," which is obviously going to set Ambrose off. Charge forward, get hit with the tree, and then Ambrose is going to drop down.
Okay.
If
Give
that's
me,
not too much to ask for.
No, go ahead. Give me give me an insight security roll first, and then we'll get into the hand-to-hand combat.
Insight, security.
And Koba, you go ahead and give me a the same insight security.
Actually, could I just fail?
Yeah,
think
you
it's more
can
interesting
always choose
to
to fail.
Koba's obviously going to he's going to fight back, but
Mhm.
I think it's more interesting if he fails.
So do I still need to roll then?
Just so you can have advantage. It's just to generate momentum. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Typically-
what is this for? Would my hand
This
is my
is-
hand-to-hand combat coming into focus?
No,
yet?
this is to have gotten the trap set up and configured so it goes off and hits him.
Oh, okay,
So, and
Gotcha.
then we'll do the hand after that.
gotcha. So no focus. Here we go. 2 successes.
All right, you've got 2 momentum in the pool. The party has 2 momentum to do what they want with. So you then leap out of the tree, and for a little hand-to-hand combat, that is daring and security. And then the defender can also roll daring or fitness and security, depending on if you want to fight back or dodge.
I guess I'll try and dodge.
Right? That's fitness and security.
Are you actually starting out with 10 threat? Did that roll over from, or is that because
That
of
is
the new
new
episode?
that is new for new episode.
Okay. Well, go ahead and take another one because I'm going to use bold.
Okay.
To buy an extra D20, and my hand-to-hand focus comes into play.
All right. How many successes is that, Koba?
Just one.
1 success. So your difficulty is 1, Ambrose.
Okay. I could re-roll one of those, but I don't think I have to. That's 4 successes.
Yep. So you've got 3 momentum to so you basically you drop out of the tree onto him. You can go ahead and describe it how you want, but you have 3 momentum to spend.
So I would imagine as this is happening, up in the tree, as this is all going on, we have phaser fire coming from one side, phaser fire coming from the other, Mars down at the bottom yelling out orders. This is all very familiar to Ambrose, and he may have made this scenario too familiar for himself. And while he's up there in the tree, he is obviously calling out to various people to direct them how to do things and keeping out. But we flash back every now and then, every few seconds, like a real quick cut, sort of cinematic, to a few different things back in the previous episode. We quick cut back to a quick argument between Ambrose and Hage, and then we're back in the jungle and doing different things, and phasers go off, and we quick cut back to when the building just nearly crushed him as it was coming down. We quick cut back to other things going on, and we quick cut into the meeting afterwards, the debrief afterwards with Hage, and there's this sort of subtext that Anders picking up because of his empathy as to Hage being how is it described in that most recent letter that Hage sent? Just the same old that Hage doesn't feel comfortable with Ambrose as his executive officer, and then Victory is Life rings out through his ears, and everything stops. Everything goes into slow motion, and Ambrose jumps down just as the twig hits Koba, probably dead in the chest, really just there to stun him more than anything. Hits him dead in the chest. Ambrose drops down, and at first he sees a Jem'Hadar. He doesn't see Koba. He sees the Jem'Hadar, and he just goes full like space Krav Maga on Koba, probably. And I'm not talking like really bad Star Trek, like the hammer swing maneuver. No, he drops into full hand-to-hand combat stance, kicks the phaser out of his hands, jumps back, slams him in the side of the throat, grabs him by the wrist, flips him over, and accidentally breaks his arm.
Okay.
Can we add that you hit him in the face as well?
Sure.
I like the imagery of blue blood all over you.
Yeah.
All right, so we can do pretty much all of that. Go ahead and give me a damage roll. I think we can do all of the things you want to do with the mechanics as they are.
Yeah, because I got a whole bunch of effects, or I have momentum to buy effects, or however that works.
Yeah, well, you've got enough to disarm him. You're good there on the momentum. You've got momentum left after doing that, and then what your effects and damage and all that will come into play once you've rolled your actual damage.
So what is hand-to-hand damage?
It is 2 plus your security skill.
Okay, so that's 7.
And then,
Assuming you don't have any, special stuff. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4 effects. So you're doing 6 damage, and you have 4 effects, which would include your knockdown and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you can certainly do what you have wanted to do. Koba, go ahead and you're going to take 6, it looks like.
6 stress, and I will not avoid the injury because that does over 5. So I take an injury. I am injured.
Yeah, which is your broken arm. He basically all the things. He knocks you down, hits you in the face, and kicks you up and away, drops you, breaks your arm. Bad stuff. So that has happened. Mar, you're not far away. You definitely hear the snapping of Bolian bones. They're pretty thick. They're hard to break.
Yeah, Mara's familiar with that sound. They will turn, and I would like to see how good their insight is. So I'd like to roll insight plus something.
Okay. What are you trying to figure out exactly? Like, you want to see how good Mara's insight is in regards to what?
Into looking over, seeing the situation, and evaluating what happened.
Okay. You want to evaluate it from a combat standpoint, a command standpoint, or a medical standpoint?
I think a command standpoint.
All right. Roll insight and command.
Okay. Target is 10. Go very well. 1 success. Okay.
You get a basic understanding. Once this is all you would need to be able to get an understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Clearly, Ambrose has jumped out of a tree and ripped the arm off of Koba to beat him to death with it.
Yeah. They're going to call out, Commander, look at me. Look at me. Commander Ambrose.
I wanna roll something. What do I want to roll? I think I want to roll. Control is really more like manual dexterity, right? It's not. What
Generally
would that be?
speaking, although
Presence, insight,
um,
for sense of self, like a composure check.
Reason.
I'd say reason or
Reason?
presence.
Yeah,
Re-
read your presence.
Uh,
Presence
I'm-
is more like your almost like charisma-y kind of like your
It-
ability to influence others.
It tends to be, yeah. It's the presence that you have, but I would
Mhm.
also, I would hazard that it's also your presence of mind. But reason is probably the better one to go with.
I'll go with reason. I'll go with reason. I say with a 7 reason. Um, reason command.
Sure.
I'm just gonna, and I do actually, surprisingly enough, have a focus on composure, which I may switch out. But I'm gonna throw that.
You could
in there.
actually challenge it. Let me see. What are your?
Wait, 1 sec. Keep going.
I don't think you can challenge a focus. You can challenge a value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna look at your values real quick. Let's see. Respect must be earned. The stats of.
I don't think any of them apply directly. Not to be challenged at the very least. Maybe to call on, with the stars being full of wonder, dreams, and nightmare, remembering the nightmare. But
Right.
I don't think I really need.
Yeah, I don't think I can apply any negatively in this situation, but I was
Yeah.
gonna try to.
Yeah.
I could. The respect must be given to be earned. Yeah, no, I don't have anything with that one. All right,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I was really hoping for a complication there, but I will take the 1 success. Do I think that's enough?
That's on you. What you want to do?
Yeah. No, I think, and I'm kind of running away with the scene here, but I think this all goes on, and it's super quick, obviously. I think I drop, roll to the ground, grab Koba's phaser, and shoot the other, that one other random yellow shirt there, and then I turn back to Mar.
At that point, we'll have Koba is on the ground. Mar is standing between Ambrose and the medical personnel and the injured patient. Mills, give me. I want 2 rolls. The first one is going to be daring and security to have. Oh, you know what? Give me fitness and security to make your way through the jungle without Ambrose necessarily noticing you there. And then, if that succeeds, then you can have a chance to shoot somebody if you want.
Okay. So
so
fitness and
Ambrose-
security is a 14.
Ambrose, give me insight.
Yeah, fitness, security.
Insight security, but your difficulty is going to be 1 higher than whatever she rolls.
Okay.
So your difficulty is 4.
Insight, security. Do I have any focuses for this? Probably not. If this is just this is just like a perception, do I notice her thing?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say probably escape and avoidance normally would, but at the moment, because you're kind of focusing on the attack, I'm going to say no.
Right. I would agree with that. Okay. I mean, Ambrose really is going all out. Like, he's not feral, but he has been dropped into full combat mode. So once again, because it's security, I'm going to take bold security.
Sure.
So that's an extra dice, and you get a threat. And
Yep,
I'll
I'm
roll
going to
that.
spend 2 to increase your threat range. Not that it matters.
Okay. I needed 4, right?
You did.
I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll that 11 actually, because I can do that with bold.
Okay.
No, that doesn't help.
And that becomes a complication.
It does. Awesome.
So I'm going to say that your complication is basically, again, it's you're literally seeing these people as Jem'Hadar at the moment. So you've got that overlay of reason.
Mhm.
Mills, you see Ambrose phaser down one of the other security officers. Koba is on the
Mhm.
ground, and
Blue
he has raised his-
bullion blood down
Yeah.
Ambrose's face.
Yeah, Ambrose is all covered in bluish blood. And he is, I assume, pointing a Type 3 phaser at Dr. Marr.
Oh no, I wouldn't be targeting
Okay.
Mar. No,
I
Oh,
gotcha,
okay.
no.
I was
no,
gonna say,
not-
I
that's what's
misunderstood
happening.
the
That makes my
trigger.
decision really easy.
No,
Gotcha.
in this exact scenario, there's probably one person that Ambrose recognizes, and that is Mar.
I gotcha. Okay.
But you are aiming that at one of the med team then?
When you brought the phaser back up, what were you doing with it? You shot the guy, and then what were you doing with the phaser?
I was just going back to surveillance. Just
Okay.
Just-
I
Okay.
gotcha.
going back on like there's still an active threat. I look back at Mar because he was like, "Hey, look at me." I'm like, "Hey, what?" And then I'm
Gotcha,
still
okay.
I'm
So-
still in combat mode.
So
Okay.
he's basically just kind of like the phaser is kind of up, but he's looking at Mar at the moment.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
Okay. I would like to roll an insight check to see if Mills realizes that this has gone beyond the realm of we're training.
Sure. Insight and command.
Okay.
Or insight security. I'll take either one.
I think insight security will be better. So that is a 12. Oh yeah, that's a 12. Here we go. Oh, good.
2 successes. Yeah, you can get a pretty good read on the situation that Koba's arm is clearly broken from what you can see, and the way he's reacting. I assume he's not being a huge baby about it, but it's still a broken arm. How are you reacting to that, Koba?
I think he's like on the ground, like fucking what do you call it? Wobbling back and forth. I don't know what it. I'm
Gotcha.
Like rolling about.
around.
yeah, rolling,
Okay.
rolling around.
Writhing.
Yeah.
Writhing. That's the
Right.
one. I'm looking- Yeah. there
So
you go.
Koba is clearly real life injured. Mar is trying to get Commander's attention and looking as concerned as a Vulcan can look.
Right.
Um,
And
Mills will say
Ambrose has a
it's-
definite murder face look on his
Right.
face.
computer and program.
The computer ends program.
Would she have clearance to do that during my simulation?
Yeah, I was wondering.
That's a good point.
Oh
Well, she
that's
can
up,
try anyway.
that's up
No.
to you, really.
No, she wouldn't.
All right.
Yeah, because I was
Does
thinking,
Mar-
Mar might.
The
Mar-
computer does not
or-
end the
or
program.
at least
then.
Mar would have emergency medical override.
Yeah, yeah.
ability, which they were planning on using.
Yeah, as long as Ambrose has turned off that functionality for her, then yes, he doesn't. That she does not have access.
Okay.
Otherwise, anyone can turn it off.
I would just my own personal preference. I think it would be really cool if either Mills just actually manages to stun Ambrose, or Mar comes up and nerf benches him. I think either one of those two would be a cool way to wrap
Yeah,
this
I
up.
agree.
Yeah,
So
I
if
mean,
it does not, you get
doesn't
the
have
you
to
get
do
the you get the computer non-compliance chirp.
right. Yeah, so the computer having now ignored my command, I will fire on Ambrose.
Ambrose, you hear her say computer end program, and then you hear the negative chirp, and as you look back up, she is shooting at you.
My
And-
attention snaps away
Like-
from Mar and straight at Jem'Hadar Mills there.
Right, phasers up and aligned. So go ahead and give me the roll, Mills. It is control and security.
So that's a 14.
And the difficulty to hit is always 2.
This isn't opposed by anything.
It is not during phasers. It is not.
Okay.
How much distance is between Mills and Ambrose right now?
I would say it's probably 1 sector separation. So
Okay.
it's essentially medium range, or essentially short range.
Okay. I'm just wondering if she's close enough to take a flying leap. That is
You-
2 successes?
You
Yeah. that's two.
potentially could, but it wouldn't be a good idea.
No. No, we
Two-
will try to stun him first.
Yeah,
and,
you wanna get into hand to hand with Ambrose?
Probably not, but she also has a focus in hand to hand, so it might be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a defense if you want to take it. You can do a fitness and security to try to dodge, but if you're not trying to dodge, then which does sacrifice your counter action. So,
All
generally
the
speaking,
people with us are not actually people; they're just hollows, right?
no, they're people.
Oh, we have actual people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine they're doing their own combat.
Yeah. The other stuff was
Okay.
happening in the side.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, but-
phasers going off all over the place. Like this is a legit battlefield right now.
They
Right.
haven't realized things have gone off the rails.
Mhm.
Right. So you managed to hit. Roll damage.
Yeah, that's 2 plus security, right?
Yeah. No, you're firing. What kind of phaser are you using?
Hand phaser. I presume
just
that's where.
A type 2 then, so I think it is 2. Yeah.
Okay, so the 6. Change that to a 6.
4 total and 1 effect. So you do 4 damage, then you have the 1.
Of course, I didn't open that thing.
The effect only applies if you were doing a charge, which
Yeah.
you were not doing.
No, she wouldn't have had really time to think about that this time around.
Right. So 4 damage, unless you want to spend the momentum that you have down there.
What can I do if I spend the momentum?
Piercing, which reduces 2 resistance, which
Mm.
doesn't matter. You guys don't have any. You can also do additional damage, which is 1 additional damage per momentum spent. If you have 2, you can disarm somebody. So you could basically spend 2 and shoot the phaser out of his hand. You could gain an extra minor action. You could keep the initiative, which wouldn't do you any good right here.
Let's do
Reroll damage.
Let's disarm.
Okay. You spend the 2 momentum that you have and shoot the phaser.
Yeah.
So Ambrose, as you snap your head back, that phaser that you have in your hand gets hit and sparks into brilliant sparks of energy. Clearly, it has been hit by the phaser and is no longer any good. Disarmed. There are other phasers around you. Certainly grab another one, no problem. But that phaser that you had in your hand is now trash.
Yeah. Okay.
Koba, Mar, or Ambrose, who wants to go next?
Cobra
Mar-
is incapacitated. He can't
Right.
do anything.
You could yell some if you wanted to.
Mar would like to make a decision. They want to make a snap decision to figure out the best way to stop Ambrose, whether it's to end the scenario or to try to disable him. What would you like to see for a roll on that call?
Reason command.
Reason command it is. That is target is 10.
Could that also be a medical concern? Like if
I
you
could
force
certainly-
somebody out of their disassociation?
I was thinking reason medical and reason.
Yeah,
medicine.
that'd be fine too. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Target is then 12. Focus in emergency medicine?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so. No.
No, had to ask.
Yeah, emergency psychology maybe.
Okay, I'll take that. 2 successes.
Okay. So Ambrose, what do you think is the most likely way to drop you out of this kind of thing? Would it be a lack of consciousness, or the scenario just ending all around you?
I think just from both from a cinematic standpoint and from a psychological standpoint, I think it would make more sense for Ambrose just to be taken out, because I think it could be really jarring for somebody to be in the middle of a disassociative episode and then
Mhm.
reality completely shift.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So, and if it helps, Ambrose's next immediate action would be running straight towards Mar, yelling, "Get down, we're under attack." And I imagine Mar just go to sleep.
Yep. And I think Mar would also think that the dissociation of Mar attacking would
Yeah.
might charm out of that. So yeah, Mar's gonna try and put him down.
Okay. Ambrose, you make your dash back to towards Dr. Mar to take cover, and go ahead and give me the nerve pinch, Dr. Mar.
Fitness security.
Yes.
Okay.
It would be. I assume that Ambrose is not actually seeing this. Doesn't see it coming, so there would be no. You're not
Yeah.
going to resist it,
Nope. No resistance. I have
So
no
you're
reason to believe that Mar would attack me.
right? So your difficulty is 1.
Okay.
Excellent. So you have 1 failure and and 2 successes.
Successes.
So, yeah, go ahead and roll the nerve pinch, or do whatever the nerve pinch. I don't know the nerve pinch how it actually functions.
I don't have any of the special talents for it because I'm an NPC.
Right.
So I think it's just straight damage,
Yeah.
Okay.
which
Super
is
effective.
2 plus security,
Yeah, so that's 5.
and then you have 1 additional momentum to spend, which can be additional damage if you want.
Okay.
Or there's a lot of things you can do with the 2. 5. Let's see, 1, 2.
2.
So you have 2 damage. You might want to re-roll damage. You could re-roll those
Yeah.
3, or you can roll off all of them.
That's reroll all of them.
Do we need to make this more complicated than it? I mean, I know this is mechanically how it works, but
Yeah, I was just gonna go with a mechanic real quick, but yeah, you can
I
go
have a
down if you
backup
want
plan.
okay.
To. Yeah.
That's just
I was just
awful.
hoping he was gonna get at least 5 damage, because then it wouldn't matter. It would just be double.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly bad roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, two very bad rolls.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3 damage. Ambrose, go ahead and take the 3 stress, but you can decide if you want to go down or not. That's up to you.
I mean, if it's a decision.
Right.
I mean, no. If we're playing this out, rules as written by the book, that would not take me out.
Right.
I will say, however, it is like a successful nerve pinch. It's just not enough to actually knock him out, right?
Right. Yeah. You would actually take 1. Oh no, he never mind. Yeah, you still take 3. Yep, you're good.
Yeah, so I'd imagine that is enough for Ambrose to turn his head, look at Mar, and then all that muffled background noise that's been suppressed all this time comes rushing back to full to full decibel level. The gray scale fades back into the vibrant greens and yellows of the jungle, and there's a look of recognition on Ambrose's face as everything sort of comes back into view. Maybe not immediate recognition from anybody else, but I think this does help.
So tell me if you
Ambrose.
like this. So as you're running at, Mar grabs you, does the pinch, drops you to 1 knee, and then things drop back into perspective.
Mhm.
So that way he's kind of still standing there with his hand on your shoulder.
Mhm.
You're kind of at 1 knee. Who wants to go next? We're kind of out of combat at this point, unless you guys want to do anything.
Mills will tell the rest of her team to cover her and approach, not with the phaser still aimed at Ambrose, but not attacking, just kind of looking at Mar with this expression like, we good?
Okay. The rest of the group starts to cease fire because some shit has just gone down.
Koba will make some muffled noises as he tries to get up and fails miserably.
One of the members of the med team comes over to start scanning you.
Mhm.
Oh God, your arm is broke.
Commander, listen to my voice. We are aboard the Europa. We are aboard the Europa. This is training. Focus on my voice. You are safe.
Computer and simulation.
The computer ends simulation.
Mills visibly relaxes and holsters her phaser.
Koba is still
Joins
very
you guys.
unsimulatedly hurt, and he is rolling around on the grid.
Ambrose is just going to turn and look up at Mar. This is your job now, Mar. He's going to stand up, and if nobody stops him, he's just going to walk straight at the holodeck.
Okay.
Mills will go over to Koba, check on him. Obviously, he's not okay, but and being
Yeah, the
handled by
medic
the
that's
med
standing
team,
there is
but-
like, no, it's quite broken. It's broken in several places. Like, he starts, working on whatever waving lights at things he can do. Is
I
waiting
mean,
to
this
see
is
if-
like a 30-minute outpatient procedure at this point, but
Yeah.
Well, let's
Just
get into
need
the
a-
med bay.
yeah.
I'll help the med person get him up.
honestly, this is exactly what we were training for. Just deal with it in the field.
And Mar might even say something like that.
Yeah.
Instruct you to focus on your patients no matter what happened around you. Remember your training.
Okay, they get to working on it, but that's pretty much the end of that. What are you guys gonna do next?
I think with Koba handled and Mars got his med team, I think Mills will go after Ambrose.
Okay.
There's nothing else that she can do here. She'll send the rest of security back to their posts.
You managed to catch him in the corridor.
Sir,
I don't
understand
stop. I'm
over.
fast walking somewhere, so
Just-
you're
she'll
like
walk
really
with
having
him.
to keep up. Yeah.
That's fine. I understand I'm overstepping my bounds. And it is not my job to question my commanding officers. But what was that?
It's several paces before he responds, or even twitches in recognition to your presence. That, Mills, was war, not the Federation.
Just nods and just waits for you to go on.
Not sure anybody else here gets it. Just how close we all were to that.
You're probably
That's not
right.
why we're out here. It's not why I'm out here. I hope that's not why I'm out here.
I hope we're never in a situation like that again. The war, sir, not like the simulation as well, but I can't begin to pretend to understand. I spent the entirety of the Dominion War at a desk. But if you ever need an ear, I'm happy to listen.
Okay.
I think with that, actually, yeah, there's sort of a nod, and we pass an intersection, and Ambrose takes a hard left unexpectedly into a turbo lift, and just looks back with a, that's as far as you go, Mills. And he just, whatever deck his room is on, he's like deck 2 or whatever, and
Okay. With that out of the way, Do we have another scene that we want to do? I think a good one might be like Mar talking to Dasavi about what just happened, or
Okay.
someone talking to Hage, or
Mhm.
really anything at this point. To
Yeah, it would depend. Would anybody report it to the captain?
Somebody would.
Somebody
Uh,
would for sure.
Probably, well, it would probably be Mills for the security side, and then Mar to Dasabi to the captain on the medical side. So yeah, Mar would report to Dasabi. They also want to go talk to Ambrose at some point soon, but they would definitely report the incident
Okay.
to their commander.
unless you guys have anything you want to do with that, we can just have it be reported. It's fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not the top of my head. I think Dasavi would go talk to Ambrose. Not right away. She'd give him some time to cool down.
So what Ambrose is doing, I think he goes up to his room, paces around for maybe 5 minutes, and then he's actually going to go find the captain.
Oh.
So
Okay.
if you guys have any scenes that you want to do in the interim,
do we have a less heavy scene that we can do as a midway through?
I'm curious if anybody would go to see Koba, or would he realize that he really has no friends on his ship?
No, Mills would definitely check in with Koba. Like once she left because there was nothing else for her to do.
Sure.
But yeah,
figured he
no,
would-
like once he's handled, like Mills would go talk to the captain and then probably go find Koba.
I imagine he'd still be in sickbay. Or
Yeah.
So you're gonna go, but you want to talk to the captain before you go see Koba?
We
I
don't
mean,
have to-
technically, you
Probably.
report to Ambrose. So
Right, but in a situation where your commanding officer has gone off the rails,
right.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mills is struggling with that too.
I don't think we need to play out the actual reporting because it would just be a recap of what just happened.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah, but we can, say that happened.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we know what order things are happening in. So
Sure.
you're going to give a report to the captain, and then you're going to go see Koba.
Yeah, because Koba still, at this point, Koba would be still, at least as far as Mills is thinking, would still be getting worked on in the field. So she would kind of stand in the hallway looking lost for a minute and then go report to the captain and then go check on Koba.
Okay, so you get to Koba in sickbay. Koba.
I imagine by this point he's got like this transparent plastic thing. It's not made of plastic, of course. It's the future, damn it. But it's like strapped over his face, regenerating his nose, and his arm is like full, in full like traction. And he says, "What the hell? I don't know what happened there. I knew it was a training simulation, but I didn't think it was going to be a live fire training simulation."
I don't think that was.
We'll say Mara is setting the injury just because just in case you want to jump in.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Go ahead.
That wasn't the initial intention. I don't think that was the intention at all. How are you feeling?
Well, if it wasn't the attention, that's even worse.
I know, and
What?
it's being handled by people bigger than us.
Man, now I've got to go into work and look at the guy who broke my nose.
How do you think he feels?
I don't really care how he feels. I'm in traction.
You will get over it, Lieutenant. Before long, this will be a story you tell to amuse your colleagues. The situation on the other side is somewhat different.
Oh yeah, it'll be hilarious telling people how my commanding officer beat the shit out of me.
If you're commanding officer or anyone else, sure, but your commanding officer is a war hero. That's That's a pretty impressive person to beat the shit out of you. At least that's a good story.
Okay, I'll tell the story of how I got beat up by a war hero.
Maybe Dr. Marr will leave your nose a little askew for you.
That would be rather dashing, wouldn't it?
See? Look, silver linings, Koba.
The recovery procedure is already well underway. However, Lieutenant, should you so choose, I'm quite capable of breaking your nose myself.
No, let's stick with the handsome mug I had before, shall we?
I will do my best.
I guess there's no permanent harm done. Thank God for modern medicine, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Somebody's got to report that to the captain. That was
It's-
not just a training exercise.
It's already handled.
Good, because the last thing I wanted was to have the captain ask about that kind of thing. Thanks for stepping up there.
Well, it's all part of the duty.
I don't think the commander likes me very much. I've been thinking about that even before he beat the crap out of me.
I don't think it had anything to do with you. I think you were unfortunately wrong place, wrong time.
Lieutenant,
catchphrase.
while I admire your attempted verisimilitude in the field, shouting victory is life at a veteran of the Dominion War was perhaps not the most intelligent decision you have made in your so far short career in Starfleet.
Well, next time I'll do a psychological workup before the training session just to make sure I don't push any buttons.
Lieutenant, I believe the phrase commonly used is think before you speak. It is recommended in most situations, particularly in combat.
Vulcan logic.
Oh, they've got a point, Koba. The plan was supposed to be a quiet ambush, not
I was already blown.
screaming Scotsmen running into war.
I had already been spotted. I did what I thought was best at the time. Look, are you going to give me a dressing down while I'm still in sickbay?
I think that moment has certainly passed. I think the only debriefing that's going to come out of that will be between the captain and the commander.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, thanks for coming. I think I'm going to rest up now.
All right. Let me know if you need anything.
Do you, Mar? Do
Yes,
you
Lieutenant?
Do you think it'd be okay if she brought me a dumbbell, just a little one, that I can use while in bed?
We will come up with a plan for your physical therapy. It should not require much work on your part. We are quite capable of restoring you.
But I miss my dumbbells. All right.
Okay. It's a good place to end that scene.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's go to who wants to talk to Ambrose first? Hage or Onette?
Savi will be the nicer conversation. So Jack, whichever you think would make for better.
Ambrose was going to find the captain.
Sure.
there you
Whether
go.
whether the doctor intercepts him, but Ambrose is going to find the captain.
Let's do
Okay.
that. I think that's a better.
Yeah, I think those two, and then they call the doctor in, because that seems like the kind of thing that the captain would definitely want the doctor's expertise on.
Okay.
We'll start there, and then we'll bring the doctor in.
Yep.
So,
Or maybe a counselor, if we want to bring,
right.
yeah. But
So Hage, you're in your ready room, just kind of going over the normal paperwork, and you've got the JAG forms in front of you, because clearly when an officer beats up another officer, that's if anyone presses charges, that's a pretty big deal.
right.
Obviously, if Koba doesn't press any charges, it's whatever. It's on you to resolve. But
Mhm.
you know, that's when your door beeps and Ambrose is waiting you outside.
Yeah, honestly, unless the door is locked, which it probably isn't, I wouldn't even beep. I would just open the door and walk in.
He has an open door policy.
Okay, that's fine too.
So Ambrose walks in. He reaches into his shirt. He undoes his communicator. He walks up, puts it down in front of the captain. Captain Hage, I request a leave of absence. Your suspicions were right all along. I do not belong under your command on this ship or in this sector.
Well, I never said you didn't belong.
You don't say a lot of things.
Look, I heard what happened down in the Hollow Bay. I think a leave of absence might be warranted. A temporary one, though. I can't afford to lose my XO. I appreciate you falling on your sword like that, but you're too important to the ship to just go wandering off and taking a spacewalk.
As a call, I will leave to you and the doctor.
Well, I'll have the doctor come in. I'll have the doctor speak with you, and I think we talked a little about you speaking with a counselor. Did you ever follow up on that?
I have kept to my recommended sessions. I can't say that they've been all that enlightening.
Well, I think it's time you tried harder. Because you need some enlightening stuff.
Back on DS9, when we had a full trained psychological crew, I could understand speaking to somebody. But this kid,
look,
how is he supposed to have any idea what any of us have gone through?
He's been trained for it. How are your security personnel supposed to know how to shoot phasers? They're trained for it. You should know that better than anybody. I knew that this ship was going to be a mess with the small crew as it is. That's why I asked for 2 counselors. So if one doesn't suit your fancy, there's another one for you.
Doctor, you're going to join whenever you want.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for that.
Okay. So Dasavi will enter.
Dr. Onion.
Was the doctor called? Or did
She
you
was
just
making her
wander
way to
in?
find you anyway. So
Yeah,
I think in this instance, Dasavi, you get a telepathic, like, this is a private meeting, get out.
She will nod and respond telepathically. Come find me when you're done.
I'll look between them. He knows this is a conversation, but he's not going to pry.
the door opens, the doctor stands there for a second and turns around and leaves.
Damn telepaths.
I asked the doctor to come to give me her medical opinion on your situation. The doctor can override either of us on this kind of thing.
Well, then I suppose she should join us.
He'll calmly, Dr. Oniat, you can come in now.
So she has turned and turns again, and is starting to get dizzy. Right. And just looks at Ambrose and again telepathically it says, I can wait if you need more time.
You just get a sensation back of begrudging resignation. There's not even any words. It's just like a mental sigh.
He says, Hage says, Dr. Oniot, Commander Ambrose has offered his resignation. I have not taken it so far, but if the two of you keep leaving me out of conversations, I might have to. I'd very much like to know your opinion of. I would like to know your opinion for the cause of this situation.
For the cause, or
The cause.
for what should be done?
Both.
Well, I think, and she taps her own chest at the side where Ambrose is all bionic-y. I think the cause is fairly apparent. What should be done is a little more muddled.
Well, I'm not going to cachet the commander because he's got a few tin parts. But
Less the tin parts and more the reason they're there.
I see.
That being said, Commander, I can appreciate the knee-jerk reaction. I can also appreciate the wisdom behind it. As a soldier, I would think you would know that making large decisions fresh off the heat of battle is not necessarily wise or the best informed decision.
I'm inclined to agree with the doctor. What do you think, Ambrose?
I think it is this point that he finally moves out of his like standing at attention position. I think if we were still in the reality that I was in there, I wouldn't have the luxury of this conversation. We wouldn't have the luxury of this conversation. That's not the reality anybody else lives in, apparently. It's been made abundantly clear that I am part of a different federation at this point. A different Starfleet.
Well, you need to decide if this Starfleet is the right place you want to be. And if it is, you need to figure out how to live in it. That means,
Yes, sir.
that means not only going to your doctor visits, but doing everything you possibly can in order to get yourself in under some semblance of control. That's as much your duty as anything security related, is to be able to function to your full capacity.
I think I've demonstrated you don't want me at my full capacity.
Not
Mhm.
against your own men, maybe.
Not at all. I do want you at your full capacity. I would not call what you did you working at your peak. And that happens.
Ambrose takes in a big breath like he's about to say something and just... Yes, sir.
What would you do if you left the Europa? Starfleet isn't at war. Where would be a better fit?
I don't know. It wasn't long ago. I don't know how everybody else forgot.
We didn't forget. We just didn't have the same experience.
No. Nobody else around here seems to have had any of those experiences.
I don't think you'll find that's true. I've looked at the jackets of our crew members. Quite a few of them have experienced, if not the same thing, similar things. Not to mention, I have experienced some fairly harrowing times myself in other lives. But I think not only do you need to see a counselor, but I think, doctor, and I'll leave this up to you, but I think it's time we arranged some kind of group counseling situation.
Not a bad idea. I imagine, Commander, you're not the only person sitting in the dark thinking they're alone.
Do you think perhaps helping other people move forward would be of any help to you, Ambrose?
I think there are others far more qualified for that than myself, sir.
Who more qualified than somebody who lived the experience?
Just as you were saying.
Commander, I'm not a counselor, but I am Betazoid. And even with all of my empathy and telepathy, I can never relate to you or someone who's lived similarly to you on a personal level. I can do my best. I can reach into your head and feel all of your emotions, but it's not the same. So yes, our counselors can talk to our other combat veterans, but they can't reach them on that personal level.
So consider this in order, Commander Ambrose. I want you to organize something for the other Dominion War veterans, along with Counselor Vega.
Aye, sir.
And I want you to still go on your one-on-one sessions, and I want you to put forward a real effort. If you don't think you can do that, then I will have no choice but to accept your resignation.
Doctor, you can feel that for a while now there has been a pressure on a dam of things screaming in Ambrose's head that he wants to say to the captain that is just being contained. Aye, sir. I can do that.
Excellent. I'll call to Dr. Vega immediately. I want you to, I think now is there's no better time. The first best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now.
Are we all being part of this group session then?
No, just go speak with Dr. Vega and help organize it with him. After you've done your own session.
I'll go see him. Is there anything else, sir?
No, that's it. Dismissed.
Okay. We'll turn and leave.
Dasavi will go after you, and in the turbo lift, we have a private space. She will turn to you and put her hand on your shoulder.
Ooh, okay. Composure check time.
If there is any indication that, like, when she would you like tense up when she reaches?
Okay, series of rolls here. Let's see.
Why don't you just do whatever's most interesting?
Because I want to know where Ambrose is at, and I trust the dice. The dice always tell the right story when it comes to me, and I think that does work. So yes, Ambrose notices, whether it be empathy-wise, empathetically, or just from noticing out of the corner of his eye that you reach up, and he does like real quick, like twitch backwards, like a don't. He doesn't say anything, but you get that
Right.
Don't fucking touch me.
Okay. So she puts her hand back, drops it to her side. If there ever was a time to speak freely, this is it. And I will tell you, if you truly believe the best course of action for you is to leave the ship, I will make that my recommendation. However,
I just reach out and press the turbo lift pause button as you're speaking.
I think you are a great asset to the ship. I think you temper the captain and his sometimes rash and carefree attitude.
I don't know why I'm here. You say that, but I don't know why I'm here. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't want me here. How am I supposed to do my job with somebody who not only doesn't value my recommendation, but
Droid is stubborn. And sometimes he forgets that just because he's seen hundreds of years doesn't make him an expert in everything. And he does want you here.
I wonder if anybody's ever done a study between Hellion empathy and Betazoid telepathy. Because I don't think you're reading what I'm reading.
I think you're right. I can tell you from conversations that Jared and I have had, and from the senses I get from him, that He wants you here. And if he didn't want you here, he would have accepted your resignation and had you on the first runabout home. Probably runabout wouldn't get you home, but you know what I mean. He needs you and he knows that. He may not want to admit it out loud, but he knows that you're a good counterweight.
For the majority of my career, the majority of my life, I've been in a position where not only myself, but everybody knows who the enemy is. We can see them plain as day. They have laser pointers sticking out of their eyes and claws in their arms. They have spikes coming out of their head and tubes connected all up to them. We could agree that there was a problem, there was a threat. I've been in positions where my advice is not taken, and I can handle that. I've been in positions where I've been overruled. But I was put here for a reason. I don't know what that reason was. I didn't request this posting. I'm damn sure he didn't request me for this posting. But I'm here regardless. Somebody wants me here for some reason. And I can only suspect that it's because we have no idea what is 2 light years that direction. Or that direction, or that direction, or that direction. And you remember what happened last time we poked around like that? It wasn't very long ago.
I know.
I can tell you what happened. Millions and millions and millions died. I watched them. So I'm here in this new corner of the galaxy, in this new Starfleet that has somehow gotten past the last 20 years of Federation history overnight. And I'm in a position where my expert opinion is being overruled and questioned in favor of you should have seen them at the station. The captain and Lieutenant Shabaraneva. Two kids in a toy store playing with all the new equipment. Completely oblivious of all the problems that could have gone wrong.
Could and did. And what would have happened had you not been there to manage that situation? I'm with you. The situation shouldn't have happened in the first place. Jorad and I had a lengthy discussion of our own about that. But from what the report says, it seems your expertise was invaluable.
It was. Thankfully. And for... hell, I can't even give you the number of times. But I don't think there's any damn reason I'm not buried underneath a building right now.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time. I'm okay with putting my life on the line for the Federation. I'm okay with putting my life on the line for the captain.
But
But he just doesn't get it.
So help him.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you certainly can't do it if you're not here. Though I suppose losing a phenomenal XO would be one hell of a lesson for him.
I feel like every time we're starting to see eye to eye. I don't know. It just drops. One of us fixates on something that the other just doesn't get.
Maybe it would do some good for you both to see the counselor.
I just don't like thinking that I'm fighting and potentially dying for a system that disregards me. I fought for the Federation, and that Federation, it won. Thank God it won. But somehow I lost. My name is up there on one of those memorial walls. I'm just still walking around for some reason. I'll talk it through. We have a small enough crew as it is. The ship doesn't need 2 first officers. And he needs to decide to decide who is sitting at what chair, or else we're going to wind up with an ensign in a seat again.
I'll throw metal and airlock myself. No, you're right. It is difficult enough without confusion in the ranks. He doesn't disregard you. I know it feels like it. I know it does. Like I said, he's stubborn. And he forgets that his years and years and years and lifetimes of experience don't always make him the expert. But he can be reminded of that. And as difficult as it is sometimes, he does usually come around to see reason. But as I said, if he didn't want you here, if he didn't value your presence, he would have accepted your resignation. The fact that he's fighting to keep you here.
Like I said, every other meeting. We'll see how he's feeling 2 days from now.
That's probably a good place to end that scene.
Sure.
At this point, engineering's gonna be like, "Where's my goddamn turbo
Yeah.
lift?" All right. Back on the bridge, sometime a little while later. I lost my image, but here we go. There is a report coming in from that's funny. From Admiral Aralani on Narendra Station.
I'll take it on the bridge.
And then, nope, not Ambrose. Had enough of that guy for 5 minutes. Where'd Hage go? There we go, Hage.
Ensign Falks, put it on the view screen.
Yes, sir.
And then the main bridge. There we go. Aralani to Europa. Captain Hage. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Admiral.
I wish it was under better circumstances. Unfortunately, it seems as though there has been a great deal of movement in the Klingon Empire of late.
That's either very good or very bad.
Well, I think it's probably very bad. The last I heard, Chancellor Martok and the Klingon High Command chamber had been, the chamber of the great chamber had been destroyed, and Martok was missing. We're not certain what his current status is. We have dispatched the USS Avenger to learn more. Ambassador Worf is on his way. But
That's one hell of a power vacuum that needs to be filled, but is there anything we can do to assist? I know we're pretty far away from the Klingon Empire.
General Kargan seems to believe there's some correlation between that and the piracy that's been going on in your sector.
Let's see.
I need you to intercept or to meet with General Kargan and hopefully see if there's anything we can learn from the Klingon politics that are going on in the sector.
Considered done. Ensign,
Sure.
plot of course.
Sure.
What makes you think these pirates are connected?
The House of Varnak is the house that has attacked is the house that bombarded the Klingon command, and they have had known dealings in the past with the House of Duras. To our knowledge, from what we have learned from Sub-Commander Toshari and General Kargan, Taral is the most likely candidate for the issues that we're having in this sector. Taral of the House of Duras, son of Duras. But again, we don't know as much as we need to. Worf is on his way to Kronos, and the last I'd heard from General Kargan is he was preparing to intercept a known...
Varnak associate?
Yes. Well, what we believed to be a member of the Duras.
Very well. Is he wanted for arrest? Well, perhaps, if he's committing piracy, we can bring him in on those charges and see about see what information we can get from him.
Get what we can.
Consider it done, Admiral. Was there anything else?
Be careful.
I'm always
Admiral, Admiral Aralani out.
mind the homestead. So I'll prepare a report. I'll make sure that gets out to the senior staff, including Arani. Although I, you know, don't need any action from him.
Right.
But,
You are headed towards where the last known coordinates of General Kargan were. So, who else has got something?
I know we've had a lot of Ambrose, but I would love to see Ambrose and Becca. If we don't want to do that, we could certainly do Malini and what was it, Mills? You wanted to see the two of them?
We could do that. That might be a let's hold off till next episode, because that's going to be another kind of intense.
That's true.
Theme.
We could do Eva getting back online.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do next. Let's have Tong and Kaz and Kostra.
Okay.
Right.
The complete mental 180 for me.
So the three of you are poking around the last little bit of the main computer bay, the main computer center. Whoops, that's not that one. Let's go to the Europa, and this is the actual AI access control. So this is the fancy, funny room where Eva actually lives. You guys are in there, finishing up the last little bit of poking around. Go ahead and give me, one of you can give me a roll. The other two can assist. Let's make this a reason or control and science roll. Or engineering. I'll take engineering also. That would work. Your difficulty is going to be 3.
Kaz has a 16, and depending on what it is, might have focuses.
I think Cass should go ahead and do the main role, and then the two of us assist.
Nice.
I assist double.
So would her focuses in computer systems apply?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what happens.
See, this is why we need to switch to cloud computing. I know I'm from Stratos, the Cloud City, but still, I think it's a good idea.
Tong, you can go ahead and assist too if you want.
What was that
I've
role from an
got the
engineering
assist.
standpoint?
Control and engineering, yeah.
Just 1 dice, right?
Just 1, yep, because an assist. And I don't know if Tong has anything that would apply. Tong.
Oh, shit.
Beautiful.
Nice. All right. So that's 4, 5, 6 successes.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Difficulty I said was 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you 3 momentum. After a few minutes, the lights in the room begin to flicker and start to come on, blinking in that Data's brain working really fast kind of way. And after a few seconds, from one of the terminals, you get the text chat of Eva ? And then a few seconds after that, Lieutenant Shaberneva, I appear to be back online.
Eva, welcome home. Does everything appear to be as it should be on your end? We're reading a clear system.
I am still completing several diagnostics, but at this moment I see no unusual activity.
We did have to redecorate a little bit after the last party guest we had, but everything should be more or less in order at this point, I think. I hope.
Well,
I have-
the automated systems have been sitting idle. They'll need a reworking. So as soon as you finish those diagnostics, get to work, Eva. He looks uncomfortable calling it a human being.
Right. I am detecting 4 biogel packs that have been corrupted. Those will need to be replaced before I'm at full capacity.
Oh, that is no good. No good at all. Okay. He goes and picks up a pad and starts trying to figure out where those are.
She relays to your tricorder which packs need to be replaced. Not a big deal. You can pretty much handle that without too much difficulty.
Well, now that crisis is over, I'm going back to my engine room. Wake me when something breaks.
Sir, something's broken. Sorry, sir. I will get right on it.
Lieutenant Kostra, you will still need to disconnect all of the auxiliary functions from the Arrow Wing. I suspect the captain would like to have that ship fully operational.
Well, and I'd like a penthouse suite in Stratos, but you don't see me complaining about it. Fine. I'll get it.
With our skills and the right investment, I'm sure we could make that happen.
Let's talk later. All right.
I will,
we'll get the
I will
shuttle.
attempt, I will attempt to program one for this holodecks.
We'll get the shuttle back up and running. That shouldn't take too long. He'll lug his wrench over to the shuttle and try and get her working.
Tong, good work. Let's work together again sometime soon.
Oh, yes. Thank you, sir, ma'am, sir.
Technically, as an Andorian, yes. Dismissed.
Right.
Dismissed. This has been an extremely disconcerting experience, Lieutenant. I'm glad that it is finally over.
I hope it is finally over. Please continue to monitor very carefully. We think we have purged the system thoroughly, but we were dealing with something rather more intelligent and experienced than you or us. So let's keep a cautious eye on things.
Indeed, and I look forward to learning more from my experience with this entity.
Well, I wish that it had gone differently. I do look forward to talking with you about its reactions because it seemed stuck in its ways and afraid, which is surprising to me for a machine intelligence, both of those things. I would have thought your kinds of minds would be more adaptable than our kinds of minds can be sometimes.
From all I understand, the driving core of Core was at one time a biological mind that interfaced with the artificial intelligence. So perhaps it was the biological mind that caused such errors.
Or perhaps the combination doesn't work all that well. The other case we have of that, not really successful from the point of view of most of the civilizations in the galaxy. The whole Borg thing hasn't worked out very well for the rest of us.
Perhaps not for the majority, but it seems to be working quite well for the Borg.
Indeed.
An interesting comparison. Thank you, Lieutenant. I will continue my diagnostics.
I imagine you have quite a bit of work to do getting used to your circumstances again. Next time you feel the urge to talk, give me a call. I know you're working on some very weighty things. I'm happy to be any help I can. As does Ensign Tong from his perspective. So you'll get two very different points of view. Could be interesting.
Agreed. I find Ensign Tong to be fascinating.
He kind of is, isn't he? I think the three of us are an interesting team.
Agreed. I also look forward to being able to take advantage of any possible holographic emitters that are placed later.
Oh, good. I know he'll be thrilled to hear that, but I think it's a very good idea. Don't rush beyond your own comfort limits. That tends to go badly, but when you think you're ready, we'll get on that.
I feel that I must take more risks with my experiences. The thing that I have learned the most from watching our crew is that risk is the business of Starfleet.
Yes, it is. And that's when opportunities present themselves. So, and we've seen what happens when a mind gets too conservative in its thinking. I like this, Eva. I think you're on a good path.
Excellent. Thank you, Lieutenant.
My pleasure, Eva.
All right. What else we got scene wise?
Let's see.
We can do the counselor anytime if we want to go back to the heavy.
I would just say everything I think Ambrose really had to get off his chest, he really said to the doctor already. I mean, we could play out a counselor session, but I think a lot of the same content would show up.
We could talk about them getting possibly setting up that group thing. We don't have to start that today, but I would like to get the ball rolling on that because I think that's a cool.
Yeah,
thing to introduce.
I think it would be an interesting place to pick up a session, pick up a game,
I like that.
recapping like that, like our Tong session, except in this case it would be a one of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that
like
could be
that a lot.
interesting. So if we don't have any of that stuff, we'll assume that the counselor and Ambrose are going to have their conversation. We're going to assume that the setup for the Dominion War Veterans Anonymous support group is in motion.
Mhm.
Do we have anything else that we want to cover, or do we want to jump a little bit forward?
We should do Teketh. We've been meaning to do Teketh for a while now. The Romulan bartender.
Right.
Ooh, I gotta switch gears. All right.
I mean,
He's a Vulcan. He's a Vulcan.
He's a, yeah. Call me a Romulan. Very rude. Will not stand for that insult.
I do not have an image for Teketh.
I sent you an image twice. Would you like me to send it to you again?
Yes, because
sure
I
we've
clearly
seen
do not
Teketh.
have one.
Right. I put this. Let's see here. I have to figure this out.
Clearly do not have one. In the meantime, while she's getting me that, the go ahead.
no, that's okay. I had another idea, but let's do Teketh first,
Right.
or whatever you're going to do.
I put the Google link in the chat, Jeffrey.
And
I find his
I know I've seen this image before, but I have
Mhm.
no idea where it is.
Probably still in the chat somewhere.
Probably. It won't let me download it, so here we go. Download.
Okay.
Oops, not the SSH. There we go.
Funny disguise.
The clearly not Romulan bartender. And whom? This is obviously in the forward lounge.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that wants to be there is able to be.
You know what I'd like to? We could roll this in. I would like Delphine to have had a really bad date.
Portophine just cannot get a break.
But do we want to, do that? I like the idea of him reporting in, but we could do that like in between his conversation with her, or before or after.
If he's reporting in, he wouldn't report in from the forward lounge.
Sure. I mean, what scene do you want to do with Teketh? What do you want to get out of that? We could just do him doing friendly bartender advice, or
yeah,
some-
let's do that because we haven't seen him really, but once, I think.
Right.
So there's nothing from an RP standpoint. There's nothing for him to check in with.
Well, we could have somebody give information about the Klingons that we just got, and then maybe after the conversation, he goes to report in.
I have something either way, but let's have even if we don't do that, but I have something for the check-in.
Okay.
But go ahead and have the talk between Teketh and Delphine, and then we'll end it with the revelation that he's actually what he is.
Okay. The revelation that we have revealed.
Yeah, I mean, we've been shouting it across the room, but
I'll be back in a minute.
sure. Do we want to take 5?
Yeah, let's take 5. I got to.
Yeah.
All right, let's take 5.
All right.
Cool.
Sorry for the delay. I was trying to figure out how to put a car seat in my truck.
Oh,
Oh, for the baby.
Yeah, 'cause for Dan needs a vehicle tomorrow, and he's going to take probably the truck.
Does Dan know how to drive a big truck? I mean,
Not that
it's a
big.
big truck, but
It's
it's
a Colorado. It's a small big
it's
truck.
bigger
so
than a Mustang.
it's true. Hopefully, it doesn't total my brand new truck. So
That would suck.
that would suck. And when last we left off, we were getting to Teketh and Define in the main forward lounge.
Yeah.
And Define had just had a poor date.
Yes. So she and some other crewmen walk away from the table. She's, instead of going, actually, you know what? I think he walks away. She stays there, but then she moves to the bar because she's going to order a drink, and she's going to say, "I'll take a Salisi Spanner, please."
Teketh nods and pours her drink. That looks like it didn't end so well.
It did not. It looked promising for a moment there, but humans get so hung up on monogamy. I don't understand it. As soon as I revealed that I had a husband, it became all about that. So hung up on monogamy. I don't understand it.
Humans do seem to have difficulty seeing past their own cultural norms.
Indeed. Well, what about, you're half Vulcan, right?
Yes.
Have you, if I may ask, how has dating been for you?
After I lost my wife, I found myself with very little interest in pursuing other romance.
Must be nice. I swear, the Denobulan sex drive is nothing to be scoffed at, I tell you.
I hear they write songs about your people.
Trust me, never mind. I just wish I could find somebody on the ship who is just a nice person. That's all I ask. That's all I ask in a partner.
Well, there seem to be plenty of nice people around. Or at least they're nice to me. Then again, I ply them with drink.
Yes, well, most people, this may be hard to believe, but most people think I come off as cold and condescending.
Mm-hmm. I can relate.
Can you though? Now that I think about it, bartender is a very strange job for a half Vulcan. What do you get out of it?
I enjoy observing people. I like hearing their stories, and there is a fascination to the science of mixology.
Interesting. That is very interesting. And why did you choose to spend your time on a starship where there's only a limited pool of people to serve?
Something new. Without a family to speak of anymore, I was growing restless at home.
You know how that is. I swear, I can only take my husband for so long before I just want to throw him in a bin. I'm sorry about your wife, by the way.
It was many years ago. I appreciate your condolences.
Did you have any children, or is it just you?
No, she passed before we could have children.
Again, I'm sorry. Well, from what I gather, half Vulcans can have quite long lives.
Indeed.
So maybe one day.
Well, we shall see.
I
As I said,
myself,
by all means, sorry.
I myself am waiting until I can have a true nuclear family. 2 people is not enough to raise a child, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it does. The old Earth saying "it takes a village" rings quite true.
Exactly. On Denobula, it takes a city. Denobulan children are incredibly energetic.
Yes. I hear the Andorians are quite similar. Perhaps you could speak with the lieutenant, or there's another Andorian on the station I've seen about. I can't quite place her name.
Lieutenant Shiranewa, you mean?
Yes, the Lieutenant Shabaraneva. There's another, a pilot, I think.
Well, perhaps I'll run into them.
You might find you have something in common. And that way.
So, have you heard about what happened with Ambrose? I heard I heard our dear. Can I tell you something? Let me start over. Can I tell you something? I've been bursting in it ever since the bullying came into the sick bay.
Of course, the rules of the bar are what's said here stays here.
Commander Ambrose severely wounded one of his officers in a training exercise.
It gives you an eyebrow.
And by wounded, I mean like a bear.
That is troubling.
It is. I didn't know he had it. I knew he liked to make disruptions, but I thought his own security people were exempt from his cataclysms, at least. Just wait. He'll turn this bar into a war zone, I promise you.
That would be quite unfortunate. He kind of looks around wistfully, imagining broken bottles and shattered glasses everywhere. Hopefully he can find control of his emotion and keep his temper in check.
She doesn't notice. She I think now's a good time for Jacia to enter the scene, if you're up for it, Jack.
Jisa, yeah.
To clarify, Teketh said that, not Teketh was trying to control his emotion. Like Teketh said, hopefully he can control his emotion and keep his temper in check.
Oh, he said that out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was
Sorry.
I wish you luck in the endeavor. Personally, I've never taken much stock in the idea of hiding your emotions.
It's not hiding, really. It's keeping them even. We still experience emotion. We still show emotion, just not to the extremes of other races.
But the extremes are the best part, in my opinion.
I will take your word for it.
Please do. This seems like a great place for just Jisa to enter.
Yeah, and so I think Jisa does enter from the other side of the lounge area. Doesn't immediately come over.
I think Delphine turns on the stool and looks at Jisa trying to get the measure of her.
That's the other Andorian.
What's her rank, Lieutenant?
Yeah.
Lieutenant, would you care to join me for a drink?
Yeah, why not? I'll go on over, prop myself up on the bar stool. Hey, Teketh, how you doing?
Quite well. How are you?
Citrus fizz, you know how I like it.
Right away.
We were just
Who makes her
talking.
drink?
We were just talking about Commander Ambrose. Have you heard?
I've heard some stories.
Apparently, he savaged one of the officers so badly they had to be taken to the med bay during a training exercise.
I mean, is he still alive? From what I hear, he's still alive, so it couldn't have been that savage.
How savage does it need to be? He has a cast. Has had to go through the dermal regenerator. It was the last time I saw an injury like that. It was by Temerian Wildcat.
He's still in a cast? It's been like 4 hours.
Oh, he'll be fine. But my point is, it was a lot of damage for one man to do for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard, this Koba fellow was eager to play.
Oh,
And well, you step up to the big boy court and you can't take it.
uh-oh.
I'm just saying.
If that's the gentleman, I'm certain he provoked the commander. He is trying. I have had to ban him from the bar on several occasions.
He is incredibly obnoxious, and no disagreements there.
The man wouldn't know decorum if it slapped him in the face.
That's just like bullying.
I don't
But
know
true.
either of them personally, but I've heard about both of them. I can't imagine they would get along all that well.
I know something about that. I barely get along with Dr. Oniet. Don't get me wrong. She's incredibly competent. I've worked under stupider administrators, but she's very particular. Well,
Yeah, I don't know about working for anybody you can get in your head like that.
who's your commanding officer?
That's a good question. I mean, probably Ambrose, right?
Ambrose, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I work under Ambrose. Don't get a lot of combat flight missions out here, so I haven't had terribly much to do. Really, just chauffeuring people here and back to the station.
How's your experience been with him? My only experience with him is him wrecking up the medbay.
Comes in, we exchange reports. It's a little curt, but he knows what he's doing.
Well,
I haven't seen him in action, fortunately or unfortunately.
oh, are you aching for some action?
I would be interested to see. I'd be interested to see what he's all about. I flew the tail end of the Dominion War, but it's a different experience being in a cockpit than it is down on the ground.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I personally have never much cared for action. As far as I'm concerned, I could, I'll go down if they tell me to, but I'm not exactly eager to get my hands dirty, beyond the normal getting my hands dirty.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a fairly common occurrence in your line of work.
Well, I did mean rhetorically. It's one thing to clean off pus. It's another thing to deal with a phaser.
Yeah, it can get real dicey. Hey, somebody's got to make the tough calls. So,
Yes, I suppose I should just be glad that's not me.
I like it. Gets the blood pumping.
Are you aching for command? Are you aiming for command as well?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of call for Peregrine squadrons anymore, so that's kind of where I was headed, and then the war ended. I mean, nowadays, command maybe. I mean, for me, ships this big, you sit behind the con of one of these, you can't feel anything. It's just pressing buttons. The ship does all the work. You turn, so it's boring. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm one for command, so to say. I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
Depends on the situation.
sure. I suppose there's something to be said for knowing what you like. I've contemplated becoming a doctor, but I've always found being a nurse more rewarding.
Right. Yeah, I don't know much about that.
What about you? What about you, Teketh? Is it?
I've never contemplated being a doctor.
Do you intend to stay a bartender for the rest of your long life?
This is a good retirement.
Hmm.
I enjoy what I do. I get to meet new people. Keeps me
And
busy.
you do it well.
You do?
Many thanks.
No denying that.
It's hard to find a place that gets the drinks as cold as Andor.
I've always been partial to warm drinks myself.
Okay.
Do you have skiing on Andoria?
Of course.
It seems like a delightful place to go for a vacation. If one likes skiing like I do.
It could be. She kind of sizes you up. Maybe some of the smaller mountains.
I think I could surprise you.
Hey, you can surprise me all you want, but when you run into an Andor Yeti,
Well, I suppose I'll just have to have a local guide to show me the way. Keep me clear of the Yetis.
right? Well, we're a long way from Andor.
Well, the holodeck is always around the corner. Maybe sometime we could go for a little jaunt, see how the slopes are.
We could do that.
I'll hold you to that.
Okay, that seems like a pretty decent place to stop.
Yeah. Do we want to transition to ticket the
Yes.
reporting in? Okay.
So, Teketh, you go back to your clandestine quarters and bring up a clandestine image.
All right.
You know, because
You know.
clandestitude.
Clandestitude. Tekka's actual name is Lidal. Had to go find it.
Give me 1 second. There's a K in that word, damn it.
Lies. You just happen to have a clandestine picture at the ready.
I went and found one, actually, specifically for this purposes. Um,
My God, it's Denise Crosby.
I didn't know if I wanted to have it be a guy or a woman, but I knew there was a clandestine shadows picture of Denise Crosby somewhere. I'm like, I will use that and decide later who it actually is.
No, it's perfect.
Clearly, though, this particular moment is being Denise Crosby.
Mhm.
What did you say the character's actual name was?
Lidal. Lidal.
Is that on the sheet by chance?
No, I do not.
You should put that on a sheet.
I want to do that. That sounds like making life easy for you.
It makes pronunciation better for me.
Shush.
Centurion.
I will point out that you still can't pronounce Shabaraneva, and that's been on the sheet for months.
I've pronounced it 3 times today correctly, or at least once today correctly.
Absolutely did. Yeah.
So there. Suck it, Teketh. Anyways, as the screen pops up, it's Commander Ladal. Sorry, Centurion Ladal.
I have no idea who I'm reporting to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Your superior officer. To be determined later.
To be determined. Yes. Reporting in.
Do you have any new information?
It would seem. Oh, you know what? I should clarify because we didn't actually bring it up on screen. Did Teketh also get info about the Klingons?
Most likely.
Okay. So it would seem there is further issue within the Klingon Empire. The House Duras and House something else, because Evelyn was trying to keep up and failing.
It was House Varnak. Varnak.
NAK are at odds.
No, they're
This is-
working together.
Working together. This is the problem with note taking, is I get lost in the note taking and I miss half the stuff.
Right. Well, this is a nice end of session recap.
Yay!
So
All right, they're working together to do what?
overthrow.
Right.
They're overthrowing the Martok.
Okay.
And
All right. And Martok has gone missing, right?
as far as we know, the High Council building has been destroyed and Martok is missing.
Okay.
Presumed dead.
House Varnak and House Duras have joined forces and are working together to overthrow Martok. The High Council building was destroyed and he is presumed dead.
Excellent. Ever since Chairman Koval was discovered to be a plant from this Federation's Section 31, things have begun moving quite quickly.
Chairman Koval?
Yes. That's an episode of DS9 that someone wants to check out. They can.
I probably haven't gotten there yet.
If things progress the way we expect them to with the Federation, or with the Klingons, we should be able to make progress in overthrowing. I have so many fucking lines of text here. Oh my God, Praetor. What's his name? Praetor Hyrel. To displacing the Praetor, and the Tal Shiar can finally take its rightful place.
Excellent.
And that's a good place to end that scene. Praetor Hyren. Hiren. Some foreshadowing for the people who can't actually see anything. All right. So Teketh has been exposed, at least on camera, but not to anyone important.
Right.
Got a little bit more, a little more information there. Do we have anything else we want to do before we wrap up for the night?
Yes. Could I add one thing to that scene? I'll make a proposal to Evelyn, and tell me if you like this. What if we make opposed roles, Teketh versus Melanie Silva, just to see if like she gets wind that somebody's spying?
I think not yet. You and I had talked about having Teketh and Silva form kind of a Garrick Bashirish friendship, and I'd like to play with that a little bit more.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a little early to expose.
No,
Teketh
I didn't want
anyway.
to. I didn't want to expose him. I just wanted to like catch wind and maybe get that ball rolling.
Right.
But we can wait on that.
All right. Anybody else got anything they want to cover before we go?
Uh,
I mean, I'm not in any rush to go. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get things done they want to get done.
I think I've done something with every character I have, except for maybe the captain. I wouldn't mind doing I've done something with everyone.
I've got more for the
okay.
captain we can end on if you don't have anything you want to do particularly.
Sure. I mean, the only other thing I might want to do with the captain is the captain doing command lessons with Dr. O'Neill, but that seems a little out of place right now.
Sure.
Well, with Ambrose on leave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be
you want to break that to her.
No, let's do that. That's great. Yeah, no, I definitely want to do that. If that's okay.
So Kaz and Hage.
Yeah. So, Hage will call Cass to the ready room. Lieutenant Sherberneva, Cass, how are you doing?
Oh, great, sir. Eva's back up and running. She's running another set of final diagnostics, but we got her system cleared out, got her moved back, and I think even the engineer might be working on putting the aero wing back together, though you never can really tell with him, can you?
He does things on his own time, I think, but
Seems
at least
to be.
he can get done pretty much anything. So
He was a great help, and I
good.
mean, I've got to say, Ensign Tong was fantastic. He's got a real knack for systems.
Good. I'm glad to see he's working out. More than a couple people still think it's crazy having a Ferengi in Starfleet, which you wouldn't think so after the heroics of Lieutenant Nog. But personally, I think that the Ferengi are perfect for Starfleet. What do you think about it?
I think so too. Everyone I've come across certainly has a fantastic work ethic, and if they're pointed in the same direction as the rest of us, only good things can happen.
Tong is going to be an exemplar.
I think so too, sir.
Speaking of exemplars, I did want to talk to you about something.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I'm sure it's gotten all about the ship. This kind of thing spreads like wildfire. But there was an incident in training with Commander Ambrose.
I heard, sir.
He's asked for leave, and I've granted it to him so he can get a handle on his medical issues. I'd like you to step up and take some of the weight off his shoulders for at least until he's up and running.
I'd be delighted to, sir. Anything I can do to help.
I'm glad to hear that. It'll mean a little less time with the computers and a little more time with the junior officers. I take it you don't object to that?
I don't object to that. And actually, if I might suggest, if we could clear with engineering to get Ensign Tong a little more time with Eva, I think Eva might appreciate it, and that might pick up some of the slack, because she's been through quite a lot lately, and I think she needs people to talk to. and she finds Tong interesting. So I would be concerned about dropping that time with Eva, especially now. So I would recommend that somebody pick that up.
Consider it done. Sounds perfect.
Wonderful, sir. Should I coordinate with Commander Ambrose, or should I regard him as just being on leave for the duration?
Feel free to consult him, but try not to give him too much pressure. Let's give him the time he needs to find his footing once again.
Captain, can I ask you a question? And I think I was going to say I think I make him uncomfortable, but I don't think that's the case. I think
he's a deeply uncomfortable man.
yes, but I was just watching him watching us back on the station, and if I could be so presumptuous, sir, I think we work together really well.
I agree.
And I don't know that if he thinks he has the kind of relationship with you that we have. And I don't want to make that worse.
Page looks very thoughtful. He says, nothing in his record suggested to me that he's ever had any kind of mentor figure in his relationship. Most captains of his rank, especially ones as young as him, have somebody to show them the ropes. Maybe that's a reason why he's so uncomfortable where he is, and maybe it's a sign of jealousy of a sort.
He doesn't seem like the type for jealousy, but we've spent some time a little bit of time together on away missions. Mostly, he seems much more comfortable in command.
Than security?
No, I mean in command of a situation and in command of people.
Well, that's not a good trait to have in an executive officer.
I think you said it, sir. I mean, I owe everything to the mentorship that I received, and I got opportunities as a junior officer that many people don't, because my captain shared interest with me, as we do, and encouraged my growth and encouraged me to take on more than your average ensign. And that gave me confidence, but it gave me practice working with somebody a lot more senior. And
what you mean?
Exos probably, I haven't thought this through really. It might be a strange thing for someone who's been around a bit, because they're in charge of the crew, but they're not in charge. And Commander Ambrose seems like somebody who's really used to being in charge.
He does. But before you learn to lead, you need to learn to follow.
Yeah.
But
I'll be there for you, sir, and I'll be there for the ship. But I'd like to not make things worse.
No, of course not. Ambrose is my responsibility, and I think my plan will work. Whether it will, whether it will or not depends on him. But I think I've at least gotten the ball rolling. But I don't want this to. I still see a lot of potential in you, and I think it's probably for the best the two of us didn't end up as captain and executive officer. I don't think I always saw it that way, but I think you are perfect right where you are, right in the meat of things. I know this last mission I was wishing I was in in the guts of the machines. So I'm glad I've got somebody I can rely on like you. And Ambrose is also somebody I can rely on for different things. So perhaps I need to tell him that. I don't think he thinks I think that.
I don't think he does at all, sir, from the sense I get of him. And it's kind of pretentious for me to say so, but I think you're right, because in some of our staff meetings, I found that sometimes I agree with him in a way that I never expected that I would. And I think the three of us could be an amazing, amazing team. But each leg of that needs to be as strong as the other. And I think you and I have a really strong working relationship. And I felt like I was starting to build one with the commander up until this last mission. But I think we need to make sure all three legs are as strong as they could be. And then we'll be unstoppable.
Well, you've given me something to think about, Lieutenant. I've always valued the input of my junior officers. And I appreciate you stepping up to lend Ambrose a hand till he's fully back into his position.
I'll get to work on staffing schedules and see if there are any outstanding issues that he has that I need to pick up, and then I'll just take them.
Please do, and let Tong know I approve of his. Let Tong know I approve of his. Let Tong know I approve of his actions during the last mission, but don't lay it on too thick. We don't want him getting cocky.
A little will go a long way with Ensign Tong. I'll make that happen, sir.
Atta girl.
Thank you, sir.
And that seems like a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I did have
one
a
second.
scene for Dasavi and Captain, but I think Captain kind of came to the conclusion that she was going to bring him around, or trying to bring him around too. So that may be just redundant at this point.
Okay.
Do we want to do an Ambrose scene or an Ambrose Hage scene, or do we want to leave that to next time? Maybe. What are you thinking?
I am curious. Our storyteller here, our admiral, how much time there would be between now and the events of whatever our next mission is going to be, as to, and we might have to talk about this off camera as far as how much leave Ambrose would have and how much we want to take up in screen time. Well, I mean, we could just fast forward and resolve that right now, or we could make it an extended problem over the course of a couple episodes. It's whatever you want to work with.
I'd be up for keeping it extended at least through the next, at least into the next episode.
I would definitely like to get Ambrose back in his full capacity before the next mission.
Well, we're
At least
kind of
before the
already
end
started
of
on the
next
next mission,
session?
but
Well, I meant before like before shit pops off, I guess, is what I'm
right,
saying.
right.
Next episode is going to be Cass's last, so I would like to put in for her being acting XO through that.
Okay, that makes sense. Are you cool with that, Jack?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So with that in mind, does that change the scene you want to have with Ambrose?
It does. Yeah, I was definitely kind of hoping to resolve that rift between them. But if we want to let it linger a little bit longer and keep Cass in, I do want to stress it's not acting XO. It's just more shifting of slight duties, not necessarily position. So.
Okay.
But
I mean, if that's how
okay.
Cass has interpreted it, and
yeah, I mean, if
with Ambrose already feeling like Cass is favored over him, that
if we think it's more interesting for Cass to be the full acting XO instead of Ambrose, we can do that. I am worried that the rift between Hage and Ambrose is growing too great to be recoverable, and I would not want that to happen.
Yeah, I would suggest story-wise, you don't make Cass the actual acting XO. Let Cass and Ambrose draw their own conclusions, and then Hage can resolve that.
That's good. Yeah.
Resolve or clarify as necessary.
Because Cass is half, I kind of respect Ambrose. I don't want to make things worse, but I want to do all the things.
I
Mhm.
saw that vying for that. Let me just edge in there.
Okay, as long as that does not reflect on Hage dropping the ball, I'm okay with that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't interpret it that way at all.
Yeah, I
think
think
it
it's I think the orders will have been clear to everybody, and the interpretations will be what each individual makes of them.
Okay, that's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay. On that, we will get to the last couple things I've got for the tonight session.
I did have one scene to wrap up, but
Okay.
I don't want to compete for the closing credit scene. So it's wherever you want to put it, but I think it would bookend Ambrose's arc.
All right. Well, we'll bookend that. We'll do yours, and then we'll close it out with the two things I've got. So.
Okay. I mean, it would be real quick. So okay, so I'd imagine we focus in on the doors to the counselor's office, and they open up, and Ambrose walks out. This is after his first counselor meeting, because, as I said, I'm sure we would cover a lot of the same things I covered with the doctor, and we don't need to play that out again. And we could always have reoccurring therapy visits, as would most likely happen. But Ambrose would walk out of Counselor, what's their face?
Dominguez Vega.
Vega. Yeah, Counselor Vega's office. And I'd imagine we get a glimpse of Vega looking more satisfied with the results of that meeting than previously. But Ambrose fairly stoic. And Ambrose is going to walk down up to another turbo deck, and actually I mean, I would say, given Star Trek medicine, that Koba's all healed up at this point, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So I would get into the turbo lift and call for. And I have to do this in the console because I don't have I left that on Hage's desk. I have to use the console, and I would call to head over to the holodeck again, or not the holodeck, wherever I normally hold my training seminars, just like the local gym.
Okay. I would think there'd be a security room. There's always a security room.
I'm looking for a place to train.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, so like the gym. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I would also use on the comm panel. I would go and I would call Koba, who is a lieutenant. We have so many characters.
Lieutenant J.
Junior grade.
Yeah, which is still just lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Ambrose to Lieutenant Koba. I request your presence at the gym.
Okay.
I'll meet
On
you
my
there.
way. And he shows up not too long after that. I think his arm still is like, it's not in a cast, but it is still like in a sling, because it's still a little bit healing.
A little tender.
Yeah. And he's like,
I would wait until like he has the use of his arm back.
yeah, he does.
Which in my mind was like beep, your arm's good.
Oh, okay.
Sort of
All right.
situation. Because
Well-
I'm pretty sure we've seen on-screen arm breaks that are like,
Mhm.
where,
Yeah.
you're good,
Yeah,
get back out
it's
there.
like they just remain tender for a couple of days is what
Okay,
we
Yeah.
found from Beverly and whatnot.
sure.
Yeah.
But Koba's totally the type to milk it if it gets him a little extra.
Yeah.
Yes,
Scars,
ladies,
man.
my arm still hurts. Would you
I will-
massage it?
I will point out he is also a tough guy and would not necessarily milk it. So I think it is genuinely like one of those. It's probably healed, like it's no longer broken, but it is still like tender, and like so maybe he's just walking with his arm like held. Anyway,
Sure.
it's fine. Hi, Commander.
Yeah, so
How are we feeling today?
Ambrose isn't in uniform. He's in like 24th century karate garb that they show. Lieutenant, I owe you an apology.
Well, I wasn't expecting this, but apology accepted. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do what I did. I was just trying to.
It's not important.
Oh,
Somewhere Mars pinching their forehead.
Come here. Stand there.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he drops into a stance, not facing you, but like right next to you. Pay attention. Let me show you how I kicked your ass. I learned this in a Jem'Hadar facility.
All right. Well, lay it on me, and then he'll kind of move his arm, and then flex it back, and he'll take the sling and toss it away.
You know, I was in that position plenty of times before I figured out what the hell they were doing to me. I'm glad you got up. I'm glad you showed up. Now let me show you how to take down a Jem'Hadar. And he just goes into like a full like space Krav Maga, like way too over the top shadow boxing sort of situation.
Okay. He'll turn his body and he'll start punching as well, trying to imitate you. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay. Back on the bridge, as you guys are approaching whatever sector it is you're approaching, you get a distress signal from the USS Avenger. It's a little far out. You won't be able to make the intercept, but you get to hear the call. And this is Ambassador Worf of the U.S. Aboard the USS Avenger. We've been attacked by, and then it cuts out. A few seconds later, a transmission is coming out across the broad spectrum of communications in the area, which I assume you will turn on and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
That's way bigger than I wanted it to be, but all right, here you go. Today begins the reign of the true Klingon Empire. I, Terrell, son of Duras, bearer of the sword of Kahless, which he holds up, destroyer of the usurper Martok and his Federation puppets on the High Council, claim my birthright as Emperor. This is the first step in the Klingon Empire taking its rightful place as the true leaders of the Alpha Quadrant. Kelekam. And then the screen goes out. And we'll end there.
Ooh.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. On that note, what moment stands out most to you tonight?
So many.
Yeah.
I must say the thing that I found the most amusing about the night is how Koba became absolutely the victim who was being blamed for the thing that Ambrose did. Like, you guys were victim blaming him so hard. If he didn't want to get beat up by Ambrose, should have dressed that way. A little much there.
Point. I think I've got to say the elevator scene was the best of the best tonight.
It was good.
Anybody else got a moment?
I've just been so immersed in my character today. I'm seeing things through Ambrose's eyes, so I gotta step back for a little bit.
I did enjoy the little flirtatious. Let's make a date to go skiing on the Andorian Alps.
Yeah,
that was big fun.
I want to see where that goes, because I had some pickup lines I was going to throw out, but you didn't walk into them.
Who best embodied their character?
Ambrose, no question.
Ambrose. Yeah.
Mhm.
What moment?
I really like the Doctor as well, playing off of Ambrose. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
still in Ambrose's head, but I really liked
That elevator scene was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. The only I just can imagine Kostra down there and she's gonna be like, I have got places to be.
He would 100% be saying that.
What role-playing moment best exemplified the other person's, someone else's character to you? What exact moment? Or
I really
line?
like the scene at the end between Cass and the captain, Cass and Hage.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that was really good.
I liked that. I also liked the ending scene with Ambrose and Koba and seeing that humility, and that I'm literally going to say I'm sorry, but also let me help you, not let me fuck you up next time.
Also, I'm going to stand here and beat you up for reasons now.
But also, it reached Koba where Koba lives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought
That is
that was leadership.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I like that. What did you or your character learn today, if anything? I mean, we as observers in the audience learned about
Learned
Teketh.
so much stuff.
Yep.
Kaz is hungrier for the big chair than she thought she was.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't expect that conversation. I was a little surprised when you were like, well, let me not make trouble, but.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm loving this triangle drama. It's great.
Yeah. I think the captain opened up more than he was planning on with Cass. I think he
Surprise.
needs somebody to talk to. I think he needs I don't know. I think he is not an introvert. He is definitely an extrovert, and he needs somebody that he can bounce off of.
You know, and I think that was the thing. That's what's changed it for Kaz, because she loves the sciencing and loves spending time with computers. But the captain, and I think the captain, harking back to her own earlier mentorship, was like, wow, these great people believe in me. Okay, let's do this.
Nice.
But Cass was real insightful there as well.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where that goes next session.
Me too.
Yeah.
What did you or I did that one? Good idea, bad idea. I mean, breaking Koba's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like drama-wise, that was 100% good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it was Koba was great. The fact that how it happened was also great. Like, I don't necessarily want him to become the butt of everybody's jokes, but he is also the comedy. I did also design him as a bit of a comic relief, so I don't mind it.
Well, the nice thing about Koba is, much like Worf, we can beat him up in every scene to show how dire the situation really is. 'Cause has Worf ever been of any use ever?
That's fair.
Oh, poor Worf.
I know.
Okay, good idea, bad idea. Dr. Marr nerve pinching Ambrose.
It was a great idea.
Might need to up the security. I think that ability needs to work a little differently than it does.
Well, I will say,
well, there are a couple actual talents for it, because I've actually written
Yeah.
up Marr elsewhere as a PC where it has more mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mar
basically
doing
just let
that
you-
saved me from having my own bad idea, because Mills's next move was cover me, and she was going to take a flying leap at Ambrose.
It would have been fun.
It
Yeah.
would have been fun. It would have ended so poorly.
Yeah.
I did really like playing out that combat, because the last real combat we had was super lackluster for Ambrose. So even though it was friendly fire, I had a ton of fun actually showing off my security skills.
Yeah.
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 You're gonna get way more opportunities to beat up on the crew than you are on other people, probably.
Apparently.
Combat in this game is weird.
Yeah.
What did you see from another player or character that you want to see more of?
All of it, everything.
Yes. It was all fantastic today.
Okay.
I want to see more of Jisa's like personal life. We haven't. I feel like we don't know much about her
Yep.
besides being a shuttle pilot, and I would love to see more of, I think we kind of backwards slid into it, but I think that might be interesting to play out between the two of them, at least a little bit.
Mhm.
So that way we can get an idea of who Jisa is as a person.
Yeah, as soon as I can't remember anybody's name. As soon
I was
as soon
struggling
as
with that earlier.
as soon as Delphine was like, "Yeah, humans and their whole monogamy," I was like, "Yeah, Jesus is gonna jump all over that."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of that.
Yeah.
I would love to see more scenes with Cass too, between Cass and Hage. Like, especially with you being gone, I want to see. I want to see more of that. I want to squeeze in as much as we can before you go.
I know. It's killing me. It is absolutely killing me.
I am really hoping that we can, as Cass said, really, I hope we can, before you have to leave, John, find a way to make that triangle as strong as you said it should be, because I think it would be great to have that sort of, it's not even reconciliation because there's not really any actual problem between the two, but
Right.
it just the three of us actually coming together and just
would be
laying it
great.
out all on the table and
Yeah.
going through it and
Oh,
sitting in
great.
sitting in the chairs that we're supposed to be sitting in.
Mhm.
yeah.
A Spock Bones Kirk moment.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
make that happen next time.
All right.
All right, if you could change one thing about this session, what would it be?
I would have done a little less rolling in the combat scenes. I know a lot of people here really like combat, but it seemed to kind of get in the way of the story a little. Especially with like the nerve pinch. I feel like we should have just let that work.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the only criticism I have. Other than that, it was fantastic.
Mhm.
Anybody else got anything?
I
don't know
think
if
I
it's-
would have absorbed more of the Klingon stuff because I felt like that I felt like I broke the flow. We had a really good, solid flow until we got to Tethek checking in, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the actual plot of this episode with the Klingons was just kind of pushed so far back with all of our personal drama.
Right.
Uh,
That is clearly a background setup for something future.
yeah.
Right.
So
So
we'll get the meat of that. We obviously got the meat of that at the end here, but I'm sure we'll get all of that information in a much more
It felt more like
front-facing way next episode.
yeah.
it felt more like teaser than plot, which I'm fine.
Right.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just not having a 3-hour seminar before this, but this went by so fast tonight.
It did. I'm really surprised that it's 10:30 right now.
Yeah.
I am so happy we did a session that was just all bullshit. I
Yeah.
love this kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, Jeff. I love your stories and stuff, but I've been waiting for a time when we could just bullshit for.
Oh,
30 hours.
these are the sessions I like the most because I don't have to do I don't do
Right.
hardly anything for these.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about these sessions. So
One other thing is that I realized I completely forgot about Yezebeth. Completely. Wasn't even in the session. Wasn't
Yeah.
disappointed. But I'm glad.
I've got a scene for Mills and Yasbeth.
Okay, we got to make sure we do that next time.
Yeah, no. I was gonna throw it in here, but we just had so much going on.
There was
that
a lot. Yeah.
it was more of a kind of a side thing. We'll pick it up next time.
Yeah. I'm gonna clean up the wish list because we got through a lot of them today.
We did.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at it while we were going through. I'm like, all right, that one's done. That one's done. That one's done. All right, pretty good progress. So now we need a new wish list. So
Yeah.
all right. On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and run the credits, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday, which will be probably our last session for at least a short time, as John will be moving on to bigger and less this things. So yeah.